before you move to Dubai, there are some things that you should definitely know so that you don't end up regretting your decision, or even worse, lose all of your assets. Hey everybody, it's Ricardo Gorski from Tax One, where we help individuals and businesses relocate to low-tax jurisdictions. And if you want to get an individual consultation call, you can visit our website, tax.one. Dubai. It's a relatively new country, or city actually, and just a few years ago it used to be a pure desert. Today it's one of the most popular, famous and modern places in the world. But what started as a 0% tax haven pretty quickly turned into a jurisdiction with an excise tax on harmful products, then a 5% VAT on all products, and just very recently they also implemented a 9% corporate tax for all businesses. Yes, there are some exceptions for certain businesses and certain industries, such as the shipping industry or the aviation industry. But I would say that still 99% of the businesses are still subject to the corporate tax in Dubai if they make substantial amount of money. Only if you're making less than 100,000 US dollars in annual turnover, not even in profits and revenue, only then you're paying 0% corporate tax. And yes, this also applies to the free zones. Now some geniuses will probably say, but Dubai has 0% income tax, so it's still zero. And the answer is actually no, not really, because of two very important facts. Number one, while the income tax is 0% on paper in Dubai, you can't really use that as a loophole to reduce your profits in Dubai and just not pay corporate tax, because obviously there are justifications for how much salary you can pay out. So if you were to be the only shareholder in your company and you're making, let's say, 10 million in annual profits, you can't pay yourself a salary of 10 million because that's not really reasonable. Even the Dubai tax authorities are like, yeah, we can't really allow that because it's too obvious, so we have to put a limit on it. And everything that is above that limit is subject to the 9% corporate tax. Yeah, of course, there are other ways to reduce your profits and pay less in tax effectively, but how much is this scalable and manageable? It will be a lot of work for your accountant, and this will also be management costs. And also number two, let's just say, okay, income tax is 0%, but the UAE is not a democracy, so if they decide to increase the income tax to 1%, 2%, 3%, they can just do it. If they decide for it on Friday, on Monday it will be live and official and everyone has to pay 5%. That's effectively what happened to the corporate tax as well. It came out of nowhere. Out of a sudden, there was a corporate tax, despite all of the promises that Dubai will be tax-free for 50 years. So, today, every company in Dubai that makes more than 100k per year and is not building ships or planes has to pay 9% corporate tax. That's it. And with all that in mind, that is the exact reason why I see a lot of entrepreneurs and businesses leaving Dubai at the moment and relocating to other low-tax jurisdictions where they pay even less tax than in Dubai. So that leaves the question, why is Dubai doing that in the first place? And the answer is that Dubai was indirectly pressured in doing that because they were investigated by strong nations such as the US, the UK, and the EU that obviously didn't like that all of their citizens were leaving effectively for a 0% tax haven. So in order to avoid enemies and big problems, the UAE just decided, okay, we do the bare minimum and we implement a 9% corporate tax. But that's not all. There is actually something super interesting that not a lot of people are aware of, and that is that Dubai was temporarily greylisted at a financial crime list and monitored for the high-risk list, where there are currently just 3 other countries, which are Korea, Iran and Myanmar. But why is that? And the answer is because the UAE and Dubai specifically, they accepted a lot of sanctioned money despite all warnings from the US, the UK and the EU. So while some countries such as Germany, for example, was cutting ties with Russia to the absolute extreme where they were even risking their citizens freezing in winter because they were dependent on Russian oil and gas, Dubai was just welcoming everyone with an open wallet. Doesn't matter if it's crypto, cash or even gold. They accepted anything from anyone, anywhere. And obviously this was even more provocative towards the other nations. But why am I even saying this? Does this even matter? Yes, it does, because of the risk that is involved for individuals and businesses relocating to Dubai and opening a bank account. If the strong nations that we mentioned earlier were to impose sanctions towards Dubai, and or Dubai needs to pay for what they did, and or the government bonds lose in value, and or they need to hand back the sanctioned money. In that case, what Dubai can and will do, most likely, is a so-called haircut. A haircut in the financial world means effectively that a nation, or technically a bank, can and will use creditors' money to fill a gap, to fill a vacuum. So effectively, you as a creditor, as someone who's just using a bank account, you will lose all of your uninsured deposits. Literally overnight, even without a bank run. But no, Ricardo, this can't happen. Yes, it can. And ironically, it happened here in Cyprus just a few years back. And that is the exact reason why I'm so aware of haircuts and its technicalities. So, we do have the taxes that appear out of nowhere, basically. Because of that, we do have people and businesses leaving Dubai, and we do have the investigations and the grey lists and these sorts of things, which would make me worry having a bank account in Dubai. But at the end of this day, today, this is just my personal opinion. I'm not saying this will happen today, tomorrow, or next week. I'm just saying that this can happen. So I personally, if I were to open a bank account in Dubai or relocate to Dubai, I would wait a little bit, maybe 1-2 years, and observe the whole situation. And this is also what we currently do at Tax One. If we do have people interested in a Dubai structure, we just make them aware about the risks that are currently involved with anything related to Dubai. Probably, maybe, and hopefully in 2 years from now, everything will be quote unquote safe again, and then I will definitely update you on this channel here, so definitely make sure to subscribe. Other than that, living in Dubai comes with a lot of hurdles as well. The hot weather, the infrastructure, their law system, high living costs, and also the fact that it's effectively impossible to get a UAE citizenship. And again, I know I sound a bit negative towards Dubai here, but I'm absolutely not. Again, I like Dubai. For some individuals, for some businesses, Dubai is the perfect destination, but I just want to share my personal opinion here because I don't think that a lot of people actually share their honest opinions when it comes to Dubai, because there is a lot of restrictions and rules when it comes to what you can say about Dubai. I would argue that even me just sitting here and talking about all of that is a bit risky. So if I just disappear, you guys know why. But no, jokes aside, I think it's important to mention the pros and the cons of something, especially when it comes to a big decision such as choosing your new jurisdiction for your new home or for your business. And so I wanted to create a video which is more focused on the cons. I will definitely also create videos about the pros of Dubai in the future. So again, subscribe to the channel. But if there is something that you disagree with, you can definitely leave a comment down below. In any case, it's very important to have an individual consultation call so that we examine your structure, your individual case, and then we can decide for the best possible solution for you, because it is not as simple as Googling what's the lowest tax country. Sure, you could move to another tax haven with a 0% taxes, but this comes with a lot of implications in the short term and in the long run. Short term, do you really want to live in an undeveloped country somewhere in the middle of the ocean just for the sake of paying 0% taxes? And then in the long run, when you want to go back to civilization and raise kids, for example, you will realize that you won't be able to do simple KYC or rather AML processes, and maybe you won't even be able to open a new bank account. I'm not sure how the tax authorities will look at you if you decide to go back after living in the British Virgin Islands and the Cayman Islands and the Bahamas and Mauritius, whatever, for let's say 5 years, and suddenly you're a multi-millionaire riding around in Lamborghinis and Ferraris, and then you want to go back home. So what we do at Tax One is we create bulletproof structures, not in tax haven countries per se. We do it in low tax jurisdictions that are compliant with all international tax laws and rules so that everyone can sleep well at night. You and we are headquartered here in Cyprus, where the government offers a so-called IP box regime for tech and software related businesses, where the corporate tax can be as low as 2.5%. In addition to that, individuals that relocate to Cyprus can become non-dom individuals, and they are exempt from any dividend and capital gains taxes for the next 17 years. And so the total taxation is effectively just a 2.5% corporate tax on their own company and a 2.65% healthcare contribution, and even that is kept at 4,770 euros, which is the equivalent of 180,000 euros in dividends. So if you were to move to Cyprus and you're running a big business, you can pay yourself dividends or receive dividends also from public stocks, for example, or distributing funds of, let's say, 10 million per year. And the only tax that you will pay on that is not even 5,000 euros. And the 2.5% is also a big difference to the 9% corporate tax in Dubai, by the way. And also here in Cyprus, you can apply for the citizenship after just 4 years of living here. If you're interested in relocating to a low tax jurisdiction, you can reach out to us on tax.one. We also do operate in the UAE, even though this video was focusing on the cons. I just hope that I gave you some food for thought about Dubai and that you will make the right decision for yourself.